hear me out. Sin is bred in confusion. Okay? Anytime that you're confused, it breeds sin. And I'm gonna just give y'all a whole bunch of examples because I want us to really understand, because I feel like we are in a society where people are so freaking confused. And if you are confused, you don't have discernment. You cannot have discernment, kingdom discernment, in a state of confusion, especially constant confusion. We have people out here like, okay, prime example, right? Let's say a woman can't pick between two guys, or a man can't pick between two girls. Guess what? What does that breed? Sin. Because now you're either probably lying, you're probably cheating, you probably still have sex outside of marriage, you know, you're breeding sin, all because you're confused about the person that you want to be with, because you don't trust that God will bring you the person that you're supposed to have, right? So you're coming out of your own discernment, not God's discernment, your own discernment, which is not discernment at all. You know what I'm saying? That's your idea of control. So now you're breeding sin. If you have people out here that really are confused at whether or not they're a boy or girl, boom, that breeds a whole bunch of sin, because now that's sexual immorality. Even if you do decide to get married, you're still going to be acting in sin because that's sexual immorality, right? And I'm not saying one sin is greater than the other. I always say that everybody bears their own sins. Absolutely. We should. I won't judge you for your sin. I judge people, and we have righteous judgment. I don't like when people promote sin. It's one thing for you to bear sin. It's another thing for you to promote sin, right? So when you have a government that continuously promotes sin, wants people to be in a state of confusion, meaning they're lying to you, they're telling you one thing, it's the opposite. You have another thing where it's just like the fact that we label pro-choice and it's really pro-death, like abortions. Yo, hey, I've had one when I was 18. I'm gonna be very honest with you. I'm not ashamed of it anymore because I was young and I was ignorant. Okay, I was young and I was ignorant, and that's okay. That's okay. You know what I'm saying? But when you've had 5, 6, and you think that is pro-choice, no. The choice of the matter is you have the choice to close your legs. You have the choice not to date anybody that's not willing to marry you. You feel me? You have these choices. And instead of using pro-choice that way, we use pro-choice to make up for the lack of self-discipline that we have. I want to make that I know it sounds harsh, but that's what we need to hear because we are confused. Like, that should be the last option. The fact that we will press a subject to have that as an option when that should not even be the forefront of our minds, and we should be focused on other things, is actually insane to me. I'm going to jump off of that. If you are, let's say, confused about a job, if you're confused about a move, if you're confused about anything in life, what does it lead people to do? To drink, to smoke, or whatever, because they're so stressed. Now they're losing sleep. And when you lose sleep, you become hungry, you become angry, you become snappy. So that will also breed sin, because guess what? You're not trying to think about the other person's side. You're mean to people. You're not acting out of love, self-discipline, self-control, gentleness, kindness, none of that. You're actually operating out of the opposite of that, which then breeds sin later on, right? Everything has a ripple effect. Everything has a butterfly effect. So when you are in a state of confusion all the time, it is impossible for you to make the right choices for your life, right? Because you genuinely don't know. If you think that you're doing something right, like we really have people confused out here thinking that they're out here worshiping the universe, not the creator. And the fact that some people think it's the same, that's confusion. That's confusion. Something, somebody, God, because God is everything beneath. God created the universe. They are not the same thing. Creator, creation. Creator, creation. Right? So the fact that you skip over the creator and praise the creation, that's like going to a museum, looking at the art, and then just praising the art. Disregarding the painter, disregarding the artist, all completely, as if the painting painted itself. And then say, well, it's the same thing. What? So that painting can go paint another thing? Like, I want y'all to hear how y'all sound. And the fact that y'all really think that y'all sound intelligent, y'all think that y'all really, like, snap it, it'd be crazy to me. Because you really don't hear yourself. You feel me? Like, the fact that people out here like, oh, well, God made Christmas. Yes, God made all this stuff, but just because somebody made something doesn't mean how you're using it is of God. Somebody could have made a pipe for building purposes, to build a house. That is great. But you take that same pipe and use it as a murder weapon and then say, well, God made a pipe, whatever, like an example, or the person made a pipe. Does that mean that like, what? Like, I really don't want y'all to understand that. Like, oh, well, God made crystals. Yes, God did make crystals. God made diamonds and stuff like that. All that. Yes, he did. But he did not mean for you to worship those crystals and create spells and witchcraft with those crystals. And he's like, well, God created. He did not create it for that purpose. It's how you use things. You can wear a crystal on your neck all you want to, and for jewelry purposes, no problem. No problem. Because it is of God. But when you start worshiping the crystal, you start spelling over the crystal, you start saging, start doing whatever y'all be doing, that's where it becomes demonic. And I think people get confused on what it is and what you're using as a purpose of it all. Tarot cards are not demonic. The fact that you're using these cards to figure out what somebody is thinking, your future, your past, all that other stuff, rather than trusting in God, you're looking to mediums. When the devil does that, right? Because God won't speak to you like that. God not speaking to you through cards. I promise you, he's not. That becomes demonic. So the cards are not, your intentions may not be demonic. But guess what? The devil don't care about your intentions. I always bring it back to Vampire Diaries. When Bonnie and them, no matter what their intentions were, when they messed with that spirit world, there was always repercussions. When they dropped that veil, they could not control if the good vampires came back or the bad vampires came back. Both of them coming back. Both of them waiting for a cracked door for them to go through. You would never know who's waiting on the other side. So when y'all open up doors and you do not know what's coming through that door, that's where it breeds a problem. And people are so confused that they can think they can do anything because they believe that they're their own gods. They don't have to submit to anything. It's easier to submit to the creation and not the creator because the creation doesn't expect anything from you. The creator does. You can worship the creation and still live in sin because the creation is not going to hold you accountable. The creation is not going to punish you. It's not going to be disappointed. But guess what? The day judgment day comes, the creation cannot save you. Only the creator. So as you skipped over the creator and worship the creation, guess what? The creation will dissipate. The creation will be no more. And we will be with the creator. And guess what? You will be with his op. You will be with his op. I hate to say it, but that's what it is. So I think we are we are in a country that is so confused that some people are identifying as trees and dogs. You can't tell me we ain't confused. Confusion breeds sin. So the enemy is going to always want you to be confused because he does not want you to know your identity in Christ, because there's so much power when knowing your identity in Christ. It's so much peace that comes with that. The enemy, you cannot be at peace and be confused at the same time. So if you're constantly confused, you are never at peace. Your spirit is never at peace because your spirit is always fighting your flesh, trying to tell you you're doing something wrong. You're doing something wrong. So no matter how happy you think that you are truly not happy. You are not peaceful. You can be happy in a moment and not have peace. That's half of America. That's 90% of America. So I want people to really understand confusion breeds sin, and we need to figure out a way not to be confused anymore, which is reading the Bible, talking to God. Even if you don't want to read the Bible as of yet and you have not really talked to God, God will reveal things to you, and he is so precise and he is so clear that you can't even be confused. I'm gonna leave like that. I love y'all.